Hey everybody, Sue here, and I just wanted to take a few minutes to share my story with you about my recent bunionectomy. I got to the point where I was like, yeah, I need to get something done. They are really starting to hurt me. And you know, I'm not getting any younger, so I wanted to make sure I did it at a point in my life where I could, you know, withstand it, you know, because it is, as I've found out, very physically demanding. I had pretty severe bunions, as I'll show you on the screen, and he's, without a doubt, he said, this is what you got to do. So what I wound up having done was a bunionectomy with a hammer toe. I also have a hammer toe, whereas my second toe was curled and it wouldn't go flat, and it was causing corns, and it was just super uncomfortable. He says, we're gonna deal with that too. So I was like, oh, I love this guy, because I had gotten an opinion a few months before that, and this guy wanted to fuse my big toe, and I'm like, fuse? Wait, I wouldn't be able to bend my toe. I'm like, I'm all set with that. No, there's gotta be a better way. And there certainly was. There's so many different operations you could have done, and which is another reason why I had put it off for so long, because I didn't want to endure something with the risk of having them grow back and having it all be for naught. So I was like, just kept on putting it off. And he said, nope, this pretty much will guarantee you will not have these things come back. So here's what happened the day of. It's an outpatient procedure, which blew my mind, but it is. It lasted for nearly 4 hours. What happened was I went in early morning. I was first on the docket for him, which I was super psyched about, because I'm like, all right, you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Let's go. So got in there. It was at 7 a.m. The first thing they did was give me a what they call a nerve block, which is an injection. So they inject you with this nerve block, which makes your leg from the knee down totally numb. You can't feel anything. It's dead as dead can be. Then after that, you go under general anesthesia. My procedure consisted of the implementation of 5 screws, 1 at the top of my big toe, and then 4 more at the base of my big toe and my second toe, as well as a large pin that was inserted in my second toe, or hammer toe, in order to keep that toe straight while the bone healed. Next thing I know, I'm waking up. I look down, it's all done. I don't feel any pain, because the nerve block is going to be in effect for, they say, the next 24 to 48 hours, and it certainly was. I actually felt no pain, because I couldn't feel a thing on my legs. So that was good, because I was so petrified. I mean, everyone, I guess, likes to think they have a high tolerance for pain. I actually feel like I do, but I was still scared. I was hearing these horror stories about, you know, oh, foot surgery is the most painful, blah, 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 you're gonna be in such pain, and I was gearing up for that. So didn't feel any pain. Went home that day. They send you home with pain meds. I had, he actually prescribed for me Dilaudid, which is, I was like, wow, okay. I had about a week's worth of that, and they said, even though the nerve block is in effect and you can't feel anything, they recommend that you get ahead of the pain. Because when the nerve block wears off, they say, oh, pain is gonna set in. You're gonna wanna make sure you already have a running start with your pain meds. So I did that. I you know, took 1 pill every 4 hours. And I gotta tell you, the first night of sleep was pretty good. I thought for sure I'd be up. No, I slept pretty good, except for the fact I don't like sleeping on my back. But other than that, I had a good night's sleep. I actually did not feel pain the next few days even. And actually, I forgot to tell you, and I'm gonna throw this still up on the screen of the first cast I had. The first 2 days home, I had these drains taped to the side of my cast, which were attached to my big toe, which the point of those was to relieve pressure, any pressure that may build up from blood just coagulating, or for lack of a better term, just pooling down in your foot. So that worked well. It was kind of gross because I was sent home with a bag full of vials that I had to fill. As they got halfway full, I was to take the other one out, attach a new one for 2 days. I actually only had to fill 2 of them, I think each one. It really didn't, do a ton of, it didn't really drain a lot of blood. But again, my foot felt great, as great as it could be at that point. My point is I didn't feel any pain. It really did, I believe, alleviate a lot of pain by having that there. And I haven't really heard a lot of others talk about having that, so that was pretty good. So on day 2, I pulled the drains, and after that I could shower. But I also, after the drains were pulled, I was prescribed Eliquis, which is a blood thinner that would further help me to not get any blood clots, because obviously for the duration of the cast being on me, they require that I'm on this, which makes sense. So 2 things I will say that are essential for being in a leg cast and taking a shower is purchase beforehand a thing called dry cast, and I'll put the link below on where you can buy them. It's a company called Dry Cast, and what it is, it's just like this giant bag, for lack of a better term, but heavy duty plastic that pulls up over your knee. There's a long leg and a short leg. I was supposed to get the short leg, which is just below the knee, but they were out of them, so I got the long leg, so it goes way up my knee. And it's super tight on, like, the elastic around it is really tight, airtight, so no water will get on it. And the other thing you need is a shower chair. Essential. So without those 2 things, it's going to be difficult to shower. Oh, and one other thing you're going to want to get is a scooter, a knee scooter. These things are just invaluable. I hadn't really seen any beforehand, and you can buy them. I got mine on Amazon for $170. You can get them less expensive, but I just wanted to get one with a really good cushion because my knee isn't in great shape, and it is a little taxing on the knee, but oh my goodness, what a godsend. I zip around my house, I can get out into a store, just outside. It's just the crutches, I wasn't having that. They're just so clumsy. I'm not good at them. I do the crutches to get from my house to the car and back from the car to the house. That's pretty much it. 2 weeks after the operation, I went in and I got my first cast off. Cut it off, took the stitching out, the dressing off, and I'm gonna show you. As you'll see, it looked really gross. So if you're squeamish, you might not want to see this, but the bone structure, I will say, looks amazing. I was amazed. The slight, I can't even call it a complication. It was just a little fluky thing that happened. That when I pulled the drain tube out after 2 days, apparently it snapped off inside my foot. So I still have, and I'll put the x-ray up and you'll see what I'm talking about. I still have a piece of the drain still in my foot. It's that little white stringy looking thing on the outside of my big toe that you see right now. And he explained to me that he wasn't going to take it out that day. I didn't really need to take it out. If I want it out, if it kind of skeeves me out, which it does, I really don't want to have anything inside of me that I don't need. So I think I am going to have it out at some point. But he says you just go under some anesthesia, they just pluck it out, and I'm good to go. So that was the only thing. But other than that, I'm going to put up a side-by-side of my foot. And if you can just imagine a clean foot, and just focus on the bone structure, I think you will agree that it's a vast improvement. I am super pleased at the result of that. Can't really see too much about how the scarring is going to be, but you know, if I'm walking on the beach, you're not going to be seeing the scars, but you'd see those bunions coming at you. So I'm looking at it like that, you know. After that was done, I had my second hard cast put on. Again, not everybody gets this. I've been seeing online a lot of folks go into a boot at this point. This is just his way of doing things. It sucks having a cast on for like 9 weeks with no weight bearing. Still, I can't bear any weight. I'm at the point right now where I'm 2 weeks out of getting this hard cast off. But you know what? It's short term, and I just keep on focusing on long term and how it's just gonna be so much better. I mean, yeah, it's a very emotional process to go through something like this. Because I'm a very active person. I have a very active job. I'm social. I just, what kills me right now is being home alone. You know, I'm home alone all day. My husband, obviously, he works. He gets home 5 o'clock. I'm home all day. My son is, I have a son that's 21. He works all day. So you really need to kind of fend for yourself. I mean, he took a couple of days off right after the surgery to help me out, but the first 2 weeks were the toughest, I will say. I was just a mess. Mentally, I was just like, I can't do this. I'm just so, you know, it was hard. But I will say, you gotta dig deep. One of the things that frightened me was the fact that, oh God, I'm gonna be on my couch for 2 or 3 months. I'm gonna just gain weight. That frightened me. But by forcing myself to exercise, eat healthy, and one of the things I've been doing is, okay, I found my NutriBullet that had cobwebs on it on top of my fridge. I got that down, washed that puppy out, and said, all right, I'm using you again. And every morning for breakfast, I have a super healthy smoothie. I go online and just look at all different yummy things to make. Two more weeks to get this cast off and the pin taken out of my second toe, which I'm kind of anxious about. I went online. I'm on a forum too. There's a great group on Facebook called I Survived a Bunionectomy. It's super active. People are so friendly, and it's so good to know that you're not going through this alone. And that's another reason why I wanted to do this vlog type video, because I'm new to this. I've never done one of these vlogs. But I feel like I wanted to share my experience, my story, my insight so far, because I know that back in September, when I was at the beginning of my journey, I did go online and I did a search. Does a bunionectomy hurt? How long does it take to get on your feet? I mean, all these questions. And I found others, like what I'm doing right now, just talking about it, really helpful. Just move the leg somehow in some way. Just stretch it any way. That's very helpful to keep the blood flow, because I do notice, especially if I'm in the car, like there was a couple of times that on the weekends, you know, I'm cooped up all week. So my husband's like, you want to go for a ride? You want to go somewhere? I'm like, yes. So we'll get in the car, we'll put pillows on the floor, but you can only prop it up so much. You're in a car. So it's like after a while of your leg being down somewhat, it feels like my toes are like little grapes about to pop. So the best thing for that is ice pack behind your knee. Obviously you can't put any ice on your foot, but the best thing right behind your knee, ice. You can put a bag of peas. I have this gel pack that's wonderful. It can just wrap around to my whole knee, to the top of my knee as well. But you'll get relief like that. Actually, for the first 2 weeks, I was doing that like every hour, ice behind the knee. and it's wonderful. So that about wraps it up for now. I hope this was informative and helpful to anyone that's contemplating having this done. I think the toughest part for me in my head going forward is learning to walk again. Because when he took that cast off, my ankle was dead, and I know I'm going to need a lot of physical therapy to get back in shape, because there is some atrophy having your leg in a cast for 2 months. I will say my calf is like jello. I can kind of put my hand down in my cast, and it's a bit discouraging, but just stay focused, stay positive, and just know that muscles rebound quickly, I'm told. So it's what you put into it, though. It's very important to eat right while you're in the cast. Exercise as much as you can. I know it's not going to be a lot, but the leg scooter, the knee scooter, when I do go out, there's a bike path right near my house. When I go out on that bike path, that's a workout. So that helps. Just doing some light weights, upper body strength, it's super important. So I hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, I'm new to this whole thing, so I only have a couple of subscribers to my channel right now, so I hope if you liked what you saw or what you heard, I'm going to have more of the same as I journey through this. So please subscribe. Comment below, please, if there's anything else that you'd like to know that I haven't touched upon. Because I just kind of like ramble, and I don't have an outline here of what I'm talking about, so I'm just trying to think of everything. So if I miss something that you'd like to know more about, please comment below, and I definitely will respond and help out in any way I can. All right? Thanks for watching.